Hi, this is Maya, and I'm working on the ID narrative badging pathway, and this is my metacognition video. While creating my digital story, I used iMovie, and it was really easy to follow. I'm not really the biggest computer person, so it worked pretty well. Some things that didn't work out too well just while composing my story. It was really hard to follow like a strict timeline to show progression. I wanted to start off as I was a kid and move into my adulthood, but just because I had to explain certain things and just opening up my movie, I had a picture of me from last year, and then I went into a childhood picture. So that part was a little challenging just because I want to keep the audience on track and not be confusing and jumping all over the place. Um, so yeah, that was hard. But what did end up working for me was being able to incorporate my family into my video. I didn't want it to be awkward or irrelevant, and I think that I integrated them well because they are a huge reason of why I am a feminist. So I think that I was able to show that. Um, I definitely thought about my audience while composing this video. I wanted to make it really easy for them to follow and not difficult, which is why I did it in a timely manner and started off from when I was a child and to college. I also incorporated things that maybe people my age could relate to. I talked about the internship I had my senior year of high school and how I used feminism in that way. And I talked about clothes because we all wear clothes, and I know that a lot of women and men agree with my values and views, and I was hoping that I could connect with them on that way. The purpose of this project was to show how feminism is so important in my life and my story of how I was brought up a feminist and how I've just taken it to a new level and how I found what black feminism is and how I fell in love with that even more. And I ultimately want to make everyone aware of it, and hopefully everyone can be a feminist. The context, it was really helpful to compose this as a digital story. I can't imagine writing this as an essay because the visual being able to visualize what I'm saying, and I think it makes it easier for the audience to really see my perspective. And honestly, it made things easier on my behalf just because I was able to put things in certain frames and then add the audio on how I wanted it instead of just typing everything. It made things easier. Um, I used some instrumental copyright-free music that I found actually on the website Miss West Puckett posted. It took me a while to find appropriate music. I wanted something light, but still kind of upbeat to show a little motivation. But and something that didn't have any words, which is why it was instrumental. And I think it went well with my story, and I kind of just used it as an undertone underneath when I was talking, and then if there's ever a point I wasn't talking, it was just in the background, which I really liked. Um, for the materials I used for this project, it was really iMovie, and I had to gather some pictures from back home and make sure I had everything in order, but I really had everything on my phone already. And I really enjoyed doing this project. It really made me see who I am as a person and how much I've transformed and progressed as a black feminist. For the revision process, that was kind of challenging and time consuming, and I sometimes don't really like to get constructive criticism, especially when I've worked on something for so long, but ultimately the notes were really helpful and um, helped me improve my story a lot. I think that if I had the old version, there would have been times where it was just awkward or pauses or things didn't match up and I just jumped topics too quickly. So it was actually very helpful. So I think that I was successful in achieving my goals and in this project and as a Black feminist. And for this project, I stayed within my timeline of giving myself a week for level 1, about a week and a half for level 2, and then the rest of the time to focus on this movie because it really was very time consuming. And as a Black feminist, I showed that in the video. I showed how I've become the person I've wanted to become and ultimately met my goals, and I'm able to spread awareness to others by using my social media, and I explained that in my video. So yeah, I had a really nice time doing this project and definitely learned a lot about myself.